Hi, I'm Darren Buchanan. I'm a local artist, and I'm here with the lovely EllieB. I'm going to let her tell us a little bit about her project.
Thank you. It's really great to be in Chicago, honestly. I was here a year ago, and it was one of my first ever photo shoots, and it was an awkward time, and Chicago just really embraced me. And since that time, my vision has really just blown up. I didn't expect to have the following that I have amassed. I didn't even know I was a big deal because I've been working so much. But what it is developing truly something that I wanted to build the grandest vision that I possibly could with my skill set, and develop something that had never been done before, something very innovative that was a service, and through positive and joy and love and all of that through, and I love the arts, always have, and so what I've done is develop the concept and the prototype and the following for the first ever promotional social media network targeted to the arts and entertainment industry with the surrounding industries, it's like chocolate, diamonds, and flowers. So what goes along with the arts and entertainment industry would be beauty, fashion, and luxury. So this promotional social media network, EllieB Zone, will literally have those vendors, luxury, beauty, fashion, will have music download, and we'll have the ability for people to use it at user-free all the way up to these promotional packages to studio or executive brand levels. And it's everybody can use it, but then again it can step up. The beautiful part about that is we are committed to 20% net proceeds on much of the product, future product, and shows and events, and to disabled vets and first responders, as well as children's charities. This last year, I was very blessed to build 3 classrooms in Nepal, and as a result, Damali UNESCO Club Nepal has designated me the global fundraising director. So this philanthropic side is just another portion that we can have celebrity events and have that charity side. We can have red carpets. We can have like tonight with that charity side. When you have a program like that and you have people from all around the world that are going to come on that platform, then you have to think about where is it going to go beyond that can fully circle around that, and that's where the TV show will come in. And the TV show truly is what my heart is, for my joy and my dreams, because we're launching dreams here, right? So we're going to launch mine as well. And I was raised in the era of the 70s variety shows, and I was trained by Merv Griffin. You may not remember him, but he was my heart as far as, and he taught me how to interview. And so for 30 years, that's what I've done in different areas of broadcasting, and as a host interviewer. So I can bring the audience and the artist, the audience, the consumer, and the brand together. So the TV show is truly a Carol Burnett, Johnny Carson, Merv Griffin style show, and it will be exactly that, and it's going to be a blast. And you can take all those emerging artists from every aspect of, the makeup artists, the cast, the crew. It's everybody, the publicists, everybody can be a part of that. But then you have your A-listers, the people that are promoting the major films, they're going to be taken care of as well. So, and then the audience has this diverse, classy, we're going to return to classy, fun humor that's safe for everybody, and the content will be very strong because we'll have worldwide influence. So to me, it's the ultimate promotional concept, and so that's our plan, with the charity of heart.
Yeah, and I love the idea for your show. Could you tell us a little bit about the rules? Because her show is going to be very different from other talk shows.
Yeah, and it really will be a variety interview show. If you remember how Carol Burnett had the different characters, every one of my characters, I have 8 now, represent a portion of my life. They may be exaggerated, but they're funny. But they're how I teach. I've always taught on the stage. I was in the field of addiction as a specialist for 25 years. And so I've always taught based on my personal story or that way, and it's kind of that self-deprecating humor. So this show is all about positive, and the interview portion will be all about the fun. And we call ourselves, since it's EllieB Block Party, Switzerland of the Hood. So if you're Switzerland of the Hood, I had to explain that to my global followers. What is a block party? What's Switzerland of the Hood? Well, what we mean at the front doors of the block party, when you enter, you need to know everybody's safe. And the people that feel isolated or feel out there and they're tired of the negativity and the screeching, there's places to go to get all that angst out. And I really believe that what I'm doing today is treating the addiction to the dark and the negative with, the treatment of positive. So there will be no politics, there's no religion, there's no geopolitical strife, there doesn't need to be. And it's timeless humor. And that's what we're just going to build it exactly like that as my hero is Carol Burnett, as she did with her band of Mary Brothers, and that's what we're going to do.
That's really great.
You might want to executive class. Get a lot of background for the rap.
Bye.
Okay. You need to. Right. Okay. Now go.
Now, earlier you were mentioning your philanthropic mission, and I know a lot of people may not know. Tonight we're here at the Fashion Bar Chicago event, and it's supporting the Susan G. Komen Foundation. Chicago Fashion Bar's goal is to make Chicago a fashion capital. How do you think you can assist them with this?
No.
Yeah, this is like a great mission, but how could you assist them?
When I built this, I purposely made good friends with some of the top influencers in the world who are in my target audience of luxury, beauty, and fashion. Monaco, Italy, Dubai, all around the world. And so what they have is they have the credibility, they have the oomph, and we want to place the emerging artists right next to them on the shelf, and that gives them instant credibility. The power and influence of being endorsed by the EllieB Block Party is significant. What Tony and Anthony have done with Fashion Bar Chicago is their mission is no different than mine. It's very specified for Chicago. And we can support that by supporting, like tonight, me wearing on the red carpet the outfits, and having the designers on the show, hosting them as vendors on the network itself. I'm promoting them wherever I go. Like I'll be in Monaco in December for the film festival as the host. Why wouldn't I wear something from Chicago and be able to explain what's happening here is so unique, and the amount of help that can happen to the industries and to the employment rate here just in Chicago. Just plus it's just really a fun thing to do, right? So we have a lot that we can collaborate on. We're really pretty excited about that, getting to know each other and supporting that. We have a lot of influence. This is Bob, Robert Reed, and he's the senior vice president of EllieB Block Party, and he's working furiously to broaden my global influence, and he's made some significant connections just in the last few days of people that have supported me who are very excited about what we're doing.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so this might be, a good time to leave me out of it and talk about what he's got some great news for everybody.
Well, that was a good question, when you're talking about, how do we connect with Fashion Bar in Chicago and help, them to fulfill what their vision is. And while this fashion show was happening, I connected with a longtime follower of EllieB, Derek Takeuchi, who is connected with artists, and he himself is an artist, but he's connected with artists all around LA, and has done some really exciting work with their only couture schoolhouse of fashion and really all across Beverly Hills. And they're inviting us, EllieB, to be a liaison to bring the vision of Tony and Chicago fashion into LA. That's very exciting.
It's very big because that's the first step in being able to get the industry to recognize it's not a competition, but it's a support to each other. And it's not easy to break into those kinds of barriers, with gatekeepers and worries and strengths. But if I can help facilitate, there I am again. I'm trying to be ambassador, and that's all I've done my entire career is be that in between. So now we can do that together. My team and I can literally be the bridge to bring people together, and then say, okay, now go do it. and then we can go bring more people together, and it just becomes a bigger and bigger family, doesn't it? And if you're doing all genres of art, I mean, I have composers in Italy, I have opera, we have amazing, every kind. I've got young actors in Sofia, Bulgaria, in Zimbabwe. I mean, there's just no place in the world that there hasn't been somebody of some genre that we've been able to connect to producers, directors, that kind of thing. And that's really about what's been lacking. If you think about who's connecting, who's helping to connect everybody. Well, you have a lot of sites who you can self-promote, but that doesn't mean anyone's trying to connect you, and who's legitimate and who's not, and what's the heart, what's the agenda behind it. So if you have a family that the integrity is there to really, it's a service, and we're here for the service of it. We're not here to, well, we would like to get some sleep at some point, but you know, we're so whatsoever, you know, sleep, you know, but we really would like to be able to facilitate that and make it a good time and a legacy. That's really what I'm creating here is, you know, I'm a grandmother of 3, and I think about what are my own grandchildren growing up in, and what am I leaving them, and what are we as my age group, boomers, leaving in for a legacy. And this to me, my followers literally, that's makeup of it. They are so excited because they see this need. What are we leaving them, and how do we bust through that before, you know, we can't do it anymore.
Yeah.
And so it's our turn to leave something back, and Tony, and it's just a meeting of the heart, don't you think?
Very much.
Yeah.
Yeah, what you're doing is very selfless, and I love that. Was there a moment where you said, you know what, I'm going to dedicate myself to other people and getting other people this kind of exposure?
Yeah, about when I was 8. Yeah, I mean, when I was 8 years old, I had encephalitis of the brain and should have been dead. And I remember then, I remember being laying in that bed literally and drawing out. We have it where I had these different homes for children, for this, for that. So it's always been my heart to do that. I remember what it felt like to be in the wheelchair and nobody would open the door for my mom, and the judgment, and I always felt different. And I always had this creativity in me, but it wasn't encouraged. And not my mom did, but just in general, you needed to be the same as everybody kind of thing. And then, so this thing that I've dedicated my life to service in the field of addiction, but it really is the same kind of concept. Last year, I inadvertently came upon this. I posted what I thought were 2 entirely different things on a personal Facebook page. And what happened is the 2 things collided, my images and my promoting artists. So as soon as it collided, within 3 weeks it went viral. What happened is people from all over the world started coming to the site, and they started paying attention to the artists via my images and then the way I was the host. So by virtue of being positive and kind of funny, and my characters and looking different all the time, because they are pretty fun characters, then the artists, I was able to take them and highlight them. And then as I brought in more of the luxury brands, or like Fabio Lamborghini, or Antonio Versace, or Aless Ferrari, whoever it was, or maybe it was the Sheik or Sultan, you know, whoever it was, I was able to then marry the 2 together. And so that I knew within 3 weeks, I knew what I had, and it came to me like that, what I could build. It's taken that long for me to be able to get other people to understand it, because it's just, you can't just overnight. That was my test market. So for a year, I test marketed against 20,000 of the top influencers in the world, and if they think it's good, it must be okay, right? That's the theory anyway. So, and people are very excited, and that's all I want, is I like launching people and that kind of thing. And that's what, you know, Bob's here to do, and we're gathering people together who are here for that. The rest of them could just move right along. Next, because we're not here to have any, as we call them, sharks and shysters in the industry. We're not here for that.
Now, you guys spend so much time focusing on, you know, supporting everyone else, and, you know, exposing everyone else and giving them that exposure that they need. Do you find it challenging to self-promote as a result of that?
I dislike it, personally. But because I'm both executive producer and unwittingly talent too, I used to be on TV for 30 years, but I was in a power suit, not a bikini and a character in a cute little dress. But so I prefer to the other, but in order for me to build this, I have to build this EllieB platform huge. The bigger I get, the more I can help. And that is not necessarily an easy thing for people to understand, because they're not used to someone who's giving necessarily. A lot of people have been used or hurt or lied to and stolen from. And so now that I built up a lot of trust, I mean, literally, I built this by myself in my little apartment. I call it global headquarters of probably. It's just crazy. But 20 hours a day, so I have almost 5,000 hours in a year. And I had no idea it was a big deal until my launch party in Beverly Hills in April, and people were screaming and so excited. And I heard stories about, you know, I just signed a 3-film picture, $100 million deal. I'm like, well, I'm still the chief volunteer. What's going on with me, you know? And so when I realized that people were embracing it beyond belief, still need to get it known and understood what it is I'm trying to do in the vision, which is why I'm bringing in some really incredible people. I'm finally blessed to be able to find those people. It's really been a long journey for the last year. I've learned a lot. I never posted photos before. I never did videos before. I never produced my own photo shoots. I wrote my first pilot TV script for the TV show. I have literally built a global brand live on a world stage, as messy as it can get. My ups and my downs, you know, and the days that I want to give up and the days that I'm happy. So this is big, and I need help. I can't. There's no way. There's just no way this vision that I've got is that big, right?
It is.
It's really big, and if you saw it laid out on a map, it's kind of scary big, but yeah. I get it.
Yeah.
It makes sense to me. I'm sorry.
Now, we know you've been working very hard today, and you hosted a fashion show. You've done a lot, so we're going to let you get out of here. But if there's one thing you would want your viewers to take away from what we're doing here, what would it be?
If you have, like my youngest child is an aspiring filmmaker, and I think about where would he go? How would he even possibly, I mean, it's just so hard. Or if you have any understanding that art is a historical record of our time, and if you box creativity and conform it, and the same 10 messages go out over and over again, then it really becomes thought control. And all around the world, people are expressing the art. They're the ones that are showing us our history for right now and in the future of what's the pain, the anguish, the joys, the ups. It's the most pure teaching you can have. So if you get behind this, you would know that regardless if you have an interest in that, you're saturated by all the time the messages in the art and the movies you see. So it's a win-win on every level. Whether you like charity, volunteerism, you like the arts, you like going to movies, you know, if you like luxury and beauty. But at the end of the day, it's really about opening up the borders to the global artist and the emerging artist. And I really encourage people to ask questions. And I don't ask for anything. It's going to happen if it's going to happen. And I would just encourage you to, if you feel something out of this, to contact us and say, hey, this is what we want to know, what more about this, or what we can do to support it. That's really what it is.
And, you know, with that contact, there's been a lot of effort that Ellie has put into this that has drawn her personal resources over the course of the last year. And so, you know, my purpose of stepping on board on this timeline is to actualize the platform by the support levels of where people want to engage on this from a business aspect.
It's ready to be built.
Also a heart that they want to share. And I heard a rumor, and I don't know, maybe this part gets edited out, but I heard a rumor about you, sir, that you're an artist yourself.
Yes I am.
And two folks, so Mr. Interviewer, tell us
and a
about
rapper
this
too,
art
positive
venture.
rapper.
Okay, I'm keenly
That's what we
listening for the art form that you want to share with the world.
Yeah, well, my name is Darren Buchanan, and I think that intellect is basically one's ability to make associations. It's not about what you know or how much information you have. It's your ability to see things and pull them all together. And because I've had a lot of experience through education and through travel, I think that I offer a lot through fashion and music because I can make these associations. So as an artist, I go by the name of Fabric Da Vinci. Fabric because I'm a designer. Da Vinci because I'm so much more.
I like it.
I consider myself the modern day Renaissance man. So some people call me Mr. R. We came up with that tonight. And
Mr. R, I like
Yeah,
it.
Mr. M.
modern Renaissance man. And basically what I do is I make positive rap music for the city of Chicago. I really focus on the issues that face the city and the violence and things that are associated with the
See,
music.
this is the part that amazes me, because what did you hear, Ellie? You heard positive rap, right?
People are ready for
And
positive.
We are, and you know, so again, it ties so well into the EllieB platform because, you know, it's all about positive messaging. And I was just talking to your friend, the president of UNESCO in Nepal, okay, and, you know, he's telling me about the populations out there, and his concern is towards the children, you know, and again, you know, we have a great concern towards this ourselves, but he's talking about they need positivity in their life, okay? Wouldn't this be a great connection if we put you, Mr. Interviewer, in touch with the president of UNESCO in Nepal
So you can
and
take
create an
So we just
audience
built
for
classrooms
your
there.
positive rap?
So now they at least got a roof over their head after the
Would that be
earthquake for the little
amazing?
kids, yeah.
I think that'd
That'd
be
be
amazing.
I'd be
Ellie.
definitely up for it.
So the thing is when I was developing this, the demand grew so insane, over 10,000 requests a week. How can I possibly meet that? So I never intended to build a network, but I can't do justice to you. I want to be able to, when someone calls me up and says, can you do this, or I would really like to, or that, or I need to be able to have some, or I need to let it go if not, right? So I think that's a good, we can help you out.
Mr. M, modern Renaissance man. I like it, I like it a lot.
Congratulations.
Well, it was a pleasure meeting you. I know that you're exhausted from your long day, and you have a big
Well,
day
Grammy
tomorrow.
needs to go to bed
Oh,
now.
my goodness.
Somebody needs to let him go to sleep at some point, so we can start all over again. We have more stuff tomorrow.
We have
right? So
lots
thank
of
you.
stuff tomorrow
Thank you
working
very,
with the
very
working
much.
artists.
Pleasure
Pleasure
interviewing
meeting
you.
you.
Thank you for the time.
All
Mr.
right.
Robert Reed and EllieB.
EllieB in the house, right?
All
Thank
right.
you.
Good
Have
job.
a good night. Namaste.
Thank you.